Hello and welcome to the first session, the introductory session of Being Innovation ACE series that we are running here at Creativity Effect. I'm Andy Tilstra.
And I'm Karen Tilstra, and we're really happy to have you and welcome from Creativity Effect. And at Creativity Effect, our goal is simple. We want to work with successful people and help them develop the mindset, skills, and tools that makes creative thinking and innovation practice possible. So we're glad you've joined us.
Again, thanks so much for joining us. This is the first series, the first of a 7-part series. It's the introduction to Being an Innovation ACE. And as Karen mentioned, we are Creativity Effect. We are a innovation consulting team that helps all people reach higher heights of their creativity. You can contact us at the bottom of the screen at the website, www.creativityeffect.com, or email myself at andy@creativityeffect.com. Well, now that we have the introductions out of the way, let's move on to the content of Being an Innovation ACE. What successful innovators know. This is a really cool topic that Karen and I are exceptionally happy to be presenting. So as we start, we just want to ask you guys a quick question, which is, what are your innovation goals? When you're showing up to this video or watching this after we're done streaming it, what are your innovation goals? And Karen, while they're answering that or while they're commenting, would you like to describe what an innovation ACE is?
Absolutely. It's us. It's all of us. We're all innovation, but have the potential to be innovation aces, because innovation at its core is about people. And without people, we don't really have innovation. And an innovation ace is anyone who wants to help make the future better for all of us and is committed to learning new mindset, skills, and tools that make innovation and creative thinking possible. So it's really anyone who wants to be an innovation ace has it within them. It's just learning a few things to hone the skill.
Absolutely. So taking that definition of an innovation ace as the whole package, it's the whole enchilada of an innovation participant. It's someone who can innovate with anyone, anywhere. Excuse me. Why are we here today, and why are we presenting on Innovation ACE?
That's a good question, and we're excited about this series. And it really came about from a lot of questions we got from people we've worked with, different requests we have for help. And what we've really learned is, while innovation is possible for all of us, it's just so many of us don't know how to really lack the knowledge of how to make innovation happen, either in a large organization, a small organization with teams. And studies show that leaders from all levels want innovation, but surprisingly enough, many large percentage numbers report that they just don't know how to make it happen. So we designed this series to provide you with basic fundamental knowledge, skills, tools, mindsets on how you can lead innovation through its what I call its three phases: to launch, lead, and land innovation. And basically we'll be focusing on that: the launching, the leading, and the landing of innovation, and what you can do to make it happen.
Awesome. Great explanation. So over the next 6 weeks, we'll be taking you through these 3 sections and how you can take tools, skills, and mindsets to be an effective collaborator and innovator with anyone from anywhere. Well, let's give you a quick bird's eye view of each of these 3 sections and how deep we'll be going into them over the next 6 weeks. So with that, let's go to the first section of launching innovation. So you have innovation idea, you have something you want to do. Karen, how do you launch that innovation to get off the ground?
So launching innovation oftentimes is intimidating because people oftentimes lack the knowledge of, is it really an innovation project? How do I get it going? So launching innovation is really creating a platform so the innovation can be successful. So learning what exactly is an innovation or a potential innovation project. How do I set it up, connect with executives, get leadership support, create a cross-functional team, create timelines and stakeholders buy-in to make the innovation effective. What roles are actually viable and needed to have innovation, and what are realistic innovation goals. And also included in the launching will be 7 models, 2 that are not unique to us at all, but 5 that we've developed that are rapid cycle innovation for people at any level of the organization when very specific situations come up. And we will introduce those in this section. So it's setting up the project, what does the project need, how to get buy-in and support, the roles, goals, and then what model should you use or would be a good idea to use. And the thing to remember is everything we present here, take it, and if you want to use it just how we suggest, that's great. But if you want to tweak it to fit your specific situation, that's awesome also. So that is launching innovation.
Awesome. So it sounds like in this section, or what we're trying to convey in this section is to, set the course right, set the ship on the right direction, find the roles and the goals for the innovation, and then start thinking about which models to use in the next section. So this actually, brings us back to the question we asked, like, what is your goal with innovation? And some of the most common things that we have heard over the dozens of projects that we've run is having an impact on the culture or changing culture at the workplace. That's something we hear a lot, and we want that people want to become more effective as teams or have like a higher culture of communication or a safer culture so that ideas won't be shot down. What are some other goals that we've heard for innovation from our clients, Karen?
We've heard that people just want to know how to get started. Who are like we oftentimes hear, who am I that I would innovate? Well, innovation really, if we're looking at it honestly, is everyone's job every day. And people might say, no, that's not true. But if you really understand the role and the goal of an organization is to create the best customer experience possible. And the top leadership cannot always know what that is. Oftentimes frontline staff has so much knowledge. So if you create a way for people to innovate or share ideas or come to the innovation, what I like to call innovation table, where collaboration can happen, innovation goals can be realized. Mm-hmm. So it's defining innovation more broadly. Anyway, that's a long way around to explain innovation goals, but people want to innovate. They oftentimes just don't know how.
Exactly.
People want to be involved in innovation projects. Innovation is very, very sexy for people. Learned that over the many years being involved in this.
Oh, careful. This is a family chat, Karen. Let's be careful what words we use for innovation. But yeah, no, that explains it well. Launching innovation, you're understanding what goals you have, what your roles you need, and what are some potential models you could use. So, and to get deeper into those models, let's move to the second stage, which would be leading innovation. So we've identified the roles and goals. Now you want to ask, what do I do now? How do I actually do the work and innovate with a team? So what do we tell them, Karen? How do we tell them to lead their innovation?
Okay, so in this section, we're going to touch on what I call the lifeguard facilitation model. So when my son was a lifeguard at YMCA, I noticed that they had some very specific rules. They kept the space safe. They had very clear expectations stated. Everyone knew no running, no dunking. And they also were there to just encourage a good time for everybody. And I have all the different innovations I've been involved with. I said, this is an awesome way to look at a facilitating or a leader of innovation is to keep the space safe, have clear expectations, what's expected, but also keep the people in a state of enjoyment and moving forward. And so we'll teach you more about our lifeguard facilitation model, also how to start and end innovation sessions in effective ways. Again, you can adapt them to make them work for you. How to the 7 models that we introduced in the launching, when to use those and how to make them work. And it's, again, take from us what you can and adapt it, but when and how to use these models, what situations would merit the different models. And then also, what about next steps? When you lead innovation, always involves next steps. There's innovation goes on, and it actually, the next step, so you can land your innovation project.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So at leading innovation, what we want to cover in those 2 weeks, because there'll be 2 weeks for each of these 3 sections over the next 6 weeks, we really want to go into what models are available for which projects you want to run. And then how do you run those with however many you have in the team? And exactly as Karen mentioned, then what are the next steps after that? So this is a really exciting section of innovation. It actually makes up a majority of our workbook. We actually have an Innovators playbook for these 3 sections. It's over 60 pages long. We're only showing you some very like the broad umbrellas of the entire playbook today. So with that, with how do you land the project, and what do you do as next steps, that leads us to our third stage of innovation, which is the landing of innovation. So you had your roles and goals, and then you chose what model to use, and you led the project, and now your team has dispersed with prototypes or solutions to test, and they've tested and they're coming back. What happens at the landing point of innovation, Karen?
Well, this is where some people kind of blitz, because it's the landing of innovation is where you have a different mindset. Now you know what you're doing, and you got to push it out there. And it's often called the long tail of innovation, or the back end of innovation. And this is where you can see exciting things happening as change starts to take place as you implement some of your outcomes, and people start to get energized, like, oh, maybe this also can happen, or we can have this happen, or, it's just a long tail of dynamic interaction. But sorry, what we want to do is to set up some tools that you don't let the innovation die here, because that can happen, and we don't want that to happen. So one is creating your innovation story arc. All innovation has a story. There's every single thing you see or interact with has been created by somebody, and there's a story behind it. And usually they're interesting stories. So how to create that story arc, how to create a 4-minute report out to executives to get them to buy into your idea and why it matters. And then there's feedback, how to get feedback on your innovation as you're rolling it out and implementing it. And what does the feedback mean? How to take it, how to implement it, how to tweak things, and then how to collect what's really happening, the metrics, what impact is it having? Some little tips and a system, what we call our ice, water, steam model of how to collect metrics that matter. And then also how you might manage a 30, 60, 90, 180 day, let me say that again, 30, 60, 90, and 180 day checkpoints with different people who are helping embed your project or your outcomes of the project. Because it's very easy when you land an innovation outcome or come up with something to now kind of breathe a sigh of relief. We know what needs to be done, but now we got to implement it. So and we'll give you some tips and tricks on when you're leading innovation, how to start the implementation process by iterative learning. But anyway, when we're through with the landing, you will have tools on all 3 segments, launching, leading, and landing, that will help you lead out an innovation, be it a very specific project, a team effort, or anything that could be classified as innovation. You could use any of these tools and it would help you. And we hope that it would actually transform and help foster a culture of innovation in the organization you're working in or with your team.
Absolutely. So again, this is just an introduction. So we just wanted to give you a bird's eye view of the 3 sections of the 60-page Innovators playbook that we'll be going over. So each section has several tools, several examples, several takeaways that you'll be seeing in these next 6 weeks. And also you can actually purchase the entire Innovators playbook from us for $49. We'll give you more information on that coming up, but it is a highly rich source of information about innovation with tools and easy to implement structures and models that we've created and that we've adjusted and modified from other sources for you for anywhere and any time.
But also you can just attend our going forward 6 series and just gather some information for yourself, and just everyone gets better.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you guys so much. I'm Andy Tilstra.
And I'm Karen Tilstra. And thank you so much for joining us, our son and mother team of innovators to help make the world better for all.
Yeah,
Keep
and again,
inspiring innovation wherever you are.
Keep inspiring innovation. Love that. So if you want to get in contact with us, you can go to our website at creativityeffect.com, or you can email myself at Andy@creativityeffect. We hope to hear from you guys, and have a great day. We'll talk to you later. See you next week.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.